1855. Charles Blondin was an acrobat and tightrope walker. He claimed to the world that he could tightrope walk across Niagara Falls without a net. Well, of course, putting a net over Niagara Falls would be challenging at best. People doubted his technique. People doubted his ability. Indeed, Charles Blondin still went ahead with the stunt, with the opportunity. Tickets were sold and people came from miles around to see the feat. As Charles stood up on the edge of the beautiful falls, he called out to the people, "Do you believe? Do you believe in my ability to walk across this expanse?" Walking across Niagara Falls. People were brought up in the moment and they said, "Yes, we believe." Charles Blondin went one step further and he said, "Do you believe that I can walk across this expanse with someone on my back?" The crowd was in awe. The crowd was amazed. And they said, "Yes, we believe." And then Charles Blondin spoke out and said, "Who then will jump on my back to join me on the journey?" My friends, today is the first full week of the season of Lent. And as we've journeyed through the season of Lent together, and as we continue to go towards the glorious day of Easter on April 4th, we're reflecting upon the book of Psalms. And each day during the season of Lent, we've invited you to join us in reading through Psalms. Today, Wednesday, February 24th, we are on Psalms 24, 25, and 26. And so I want to take a few moments to unpack for you Psalm 25. I invite you to continue to read these other Psalms and reflect for yourselves. But today I want to look at Psalm 25. In verse 1 it says, "In you, Lord my God, I put my trust. I trust in you. Do not let me be put to shame." That was verses 1 and 2 of Psalm 25. Proclaiming trust in the Lord. Verse 1 says, "I trust you, God." But then verse 2 backs off of that just a little bit. It says, "I trust in you, but don't let me be put to shame. I trust you, but please let my trust be founded. Please remind me and the world that you can be trusted." Trust is a hard thing. Too often, you and I, are like that crowd that was watching Charles Blondin go across Niagara Falls. We say we believe, we say we want to believe. But when it comes to jumping on the back and going across the expanse that threatens our very life and very existence, threatens our own sense of security, we stop short. A hush falls over our spirit, just as the hush fell over the crowd. Psalm 25, verse 16 says, "Turn to me, God, and be gracious to me, for I am lonely and afflicted." One of the great things about the Psalms is that it expresses our own feelings. When we come across words like this, we say, "Yes, I am lonely. I'm afflicted. I'm lonely because I desire relationships that seem to be fleeting, seem to be apart from me." Over the last year of pandemic, we have been divided. We have been separated from one another, and we feel lonely. One of the great things about the church is that we get to be together. Certainly that has been challenging at times, but we're meeting in person as a way to alleviate some of this loneliness, to gather together, but also expressing online the things that need to be expressed for one another, the truth of God. "Lord, come to me. Be gracious to me. For I am lonely, but I'm also afflicted with doubt and shame, difficulty and pain. I'm afflicted." And the psalmist speaks for us and says the only way to relieve that pain, the only way that that pain can be dealt with is by God coming to us. "Come to me. Be gracious to me." Verse 20, Psalm 25, verse 20 says, "Guard my life and rescue me. Do not let me be put to shame, for I take refuge in you. There's those words again. Don't let me be put to shame. God, I trust you, but there's a part of me that doubts. There's a part of me that believes that if I trust in you, that I will be looking like the fool because I will be left alone and afflicted. Please, don't let me be put to shame. I trust you. I believe in you, but help my unbelief. Guard my life, Psalm 25, verse 20 says. Guard my life, but don't just guard it, but come and rescue me. Rescue me from falling into the abyss, falling over the side, and save me and keep me secure. Keep my feet upon the rock. Rescue me. For in you, verse 20 finishes, I take refuge. The world may be raging around me, but in God I rest secure. As Charles Blondin invited the people that were gathered there to watch his feat in 1855, he challenged them to believe that he could perform this task by going across with someone on his back. He invited someone to jump aboard to prove their belief. The crowd was silent until one man jumped up and said, I believe. He climbed upon Mr. Blondin's back, and they began to go across the falls. They made it to the other side. Upon hearing about this and seeing it, the reporters immediately wanted to know about the man who jumped on his back. The man's name was Harry Colcord, who happened to be Charles Blondin's manager. He believed in him. Not just because he had a contract and because he had a stake in the claim, but because he believed in his ability, he was willing and able to risk his very life. My friends, today, I encourage you to read and reflect on the Psalms, particularly Psalm 25, to take refuge in God, to allow him to get you across whatever expanse there is in your life today. God bless you. Have a great day.